All right, it's fall. It's glorious. There are leaves on the ground that I must rake. And it's the time for the Finally Fall book tag, which is a tag I still like to do every year. And like my challenge to myself is to try and only use books that I've read since the last time I did the tag. So I have like 100 some books to choose from. For these questions, I try to pick the best ones. And yeah, we're just going to get into it. I'll have the prompts down below in case you want to do the tag. I know at least one person's already posted. I saw Elliot's tag on my timeline. I don't know how many people are going to do it this year, but I think it's also a fun kind of way to do a fall recommendation video. Although every couple years, I play around with the idea of just a fall recommendation video. And I don't think I'll do that this year. Maybe next year, because I'm still collecting books. But just as a sneak peek for the future, I think my top 10 horror books are going to come out this year. I think I've read enough. Last year I did a haunting book, top 10 books, but this year I think I'm just going to do top 10 horror, and it's going to be hard, but I'm excited. Anyways, into the reason you clicked on this video, the tag. In the fall, the air is crisp and clear. Name a book with a vivid setting. And, this is just a tag video. There are no rules except maybe you're supposed to only pick one book, but I've picked multiple books for multiple prompts. So for this one, I actually picked both of these I read last fall, and I loved reading them in the fall. So I know it says just a vivid setting, but I do think that's part of it. It's like atmosphere in the fall. So first, Warm Hands of Ghosts. I really liked this book, and I read it almost all in a day while raking leaves. But I do think the vivid setting, World War I, in the trenches, even at the home, waiting to hear the news from the front, I really always knew exactly where I was, and I knew how cold it was, and it was very descriptive. So I really liked it for its setting. I don't know if it's quite at the same level as the Bearing the Nightingale setting, which is like so cold and crisp and things like that, but she does use her atmospheric tools here in Warm Hands of Ghosts to great effect for me. This book was out last year, and I feel like it had very mixed reviews. I really loved it. It's about this sibling relationship. You have flashbacks of the brother, present day of the sister who's a nurse. It's World War I. It's that intersection of change and war and tech and magic and folklore. And yeah, it was one of the few World War I books that I really like in every aspect. I have a lot of issues sometimes with Great War historical fictions and how they are framed, but I really liked this one. And yeah, it's probably like in like the top half of the books I like from this author. The other one's The Only Good Indians. I mean, any Stephen Graham Jones probably, but this one is one where like I don't visualize when I read very much, but I visualized some scenes in this book. There's a scene with a train car and something happens. There's a scene where someone's just like fixing something in the house. Like I have so many moments where I'm like, I'm in that scene with the characters. And it was amazing. I read this while walking a lot, because this time last year I was walking a lot because I couldn't sit because my hamstrings were all bad. I didn't know they were my hamstrings at the time. But yeah, those two just like come to mind as like, I was very there while I was reading the books, which makes it seem like it would have a vivid setting. Number 2 is Nature is Beautiful but Also Dying. Name a book that is beautifully written but also deals with a heavy topic like loss or grief. And I'm using The Roundhouse by Louise Erdrich. I mean, and like this one's not necessarily about death, but it is about loss, and it's about grief, and it's about recovery. And like, there might be some death involved, but the initial premise of this is it's a coming-of-age story of a young man whose mother gets essayed. I don't know if I'm far enough in this video to say that word without YouTube flagging it or something, but it's this family dealing with this trauma and grieving the life they used to have and how they move on from that and through the lens of this young boy. And it's a heavy story. Beautiful, but very heavy. So I think it's perfect for this prompt. And there's a reason why it's one of the most well-beloved books by this author. I totally see it now. Now, number 3 is Fall is Back to School Season. Share a nonfiction book that taught you something new. I have 2. One I read because of Warm Hands of Ghosts, which I already talked about at the start of this video, but that is When We Cease to Understand the World, which I also think is a translation. So if you're looking for translated fiction, if you're looking for nonfiction, this is a 2 birds, 1 stone scenario. And It's a little bit like narrative nonfiction. It definitely, I think, takes a lot of dramatic liberties with the people. But it's a really interesting way of looking at technological discoveries and science and math in the context of history. Because I feel like when we do learn a lot about things that we discovered in the 20th century, we're removing it from the context of the 20th century, which is a foolish thing to do. There are some fascinating intersections between certain things that we need to have as humans to survive and who was responsible for them and how their life played out. And some of the stuff I knew, some of it I didn't. It was a very short, interesting nonfiction. And then my other one is, oddly enough, like it's kind of sort of a self-help health book, but it's Hello Sleep. And I learned a lot about sleep. And I feel a very honest way, and it's really helped my relationship with sleep and how the brain works. And yeah, I was just very captivated by it. I like a lot of almost pop science things sometimes when I'm really stressed. And so this was that kind of level, but it's not fear-mongering. And I think it really sets up definitions and things in a way that I really like in terms of science communication. So I really enjoyed it. All right, number 4, in order to keep warm, it's good to spend some time with the people you love. Name a fictional family, household, friend group that you'd like to be a part of. I got 2, and they're both science fiction. One is the Immortality Thieves trio. They are amazing. I love them all. Like Sean, Lantern Eyes, Indigo. Yes. And I think I heard that we're getting the 3rd book, which is making me so excited. Like, so excited, because I know not many people read these books. So it's like, if Solaris chose to not continue, I would, like, understand. But yeah, because it's not like any of them have been cliffhangers, but I really love this friend group. Like, I really love them so much. Another one is Ocean's Gadori. Like, I especially, just like the glue of these 2 books, Ocean's Gadori and Tio's Darumi, are the relationships, the friendships, the team dynamics. I really love both of them. I feel like my answer is typically been a sci-fi the last couple years. I'm almost positive I probably put Verkos again last year or something like that. All right, and then the next one's like, the colorful leaves are piling on the ground. Show us a pile of colorful spines. And so I did show at the start of this video, well, maybe not the start of the video, but in the thumbnail, I put together a stack of books. And I also did it because I just wanted to like wave the books at you guys and be like, these would also be great for fall. If you like reading like in a castle fantasy books in a fall, may I interest you in this Standalone by Lewis McMaster Bujold. It's pretty good. I think it would give you some good fall energy. I also have The Incandescent by Emily Tesh. This is a great like magic school book. It's like in the mundane world as well. A main character is the director of magic at the school. I really liked it. I thought of Wednesday a lot actually while I read this book. We've got this short story collection, A Sunny Place for Shady People, which Marianne Enriquez is one of my favorite horror authors, period, and stop. This has a lot of interesting body horror elements if you're interested in that. I've got The Mimicking of Known Successes as my orange leaf. This is a good detective story, so if you like cozying up with a detective read, I think this is very good. And then this is a sequel, because I just like the colors of this, but No Gods, No Monsters, We Are the Crisis, this whole Convergence saga by Cadwell Turnbull, which I have a Should You Read and an interview. Paranormal Creatures, it's fall. So that's just a rapid fire. Those are my pile of leaves and books, because I couldn't fit them in other prompts, and I kind of wanted to. So, you know, my channel, my rules. Next up, fall is the perfect time for some storytelling by the fireside. Share a book wherein somebody is telling a story. Annihilation by Jeff Vandermeer is a book I read this year that I think does this. I don't like it. Like, I don't like that the biologist is telling the story the way she's telling it, but it's journal entries that she's writing, so I think it really serves the spirit of it, and it would be a good fall read for those who do like the type of unsettling qualities that she brings to the table. Another one that I liked is Green Teeth. This one is told by the monster in the story, and I thought it was quite cute. So number 7, though, is The Nights We Are Getting Darker, Share a Dark, Creepy Read. And this is when I was, like, struggling to pick books because I had so many, and I was like, it's time, Angela. You are going to compile your top 10 horror, and it's going to be lovely for me. I'm very excited about it. Because I think what's exciting about that list for me, just as, like, an aside, is I haven't read so many that I'll be overwhelmed with like, oh my gosh, I've read 200 fantasy books. How do I pick 10? That's daunting to me. I think I've probably only read 20 to 30 horror books, so picking 10 from that just feels more manageable. And it's a genre that's made me really excited lately. But that is to say, I had to pick 2. And, I just picked 2, and then, of course, I snuck in a Stephen Graham Jones already, so we're just gonna not pick one for this. First of all, the only novel by Tananarive Due I've read so far is The Good House, but it's fantastic, and I read it last year. Like, this is, like, such a good, tropey Halloween read, in my opinion. It's got a haunted house, it's got, like, possessions, it's got curses, it's got people returning home, it has a hidden past. It's so good. Like, such a good time. It's thick, but it reads kind of fast. Or at least you don't care that it's long, because you're just like, I'm just in it. I'm just in it. It's got the small town vibes. It's so creepy, and it's so good. So that's my, like, top one. And then one that I do think is, like, unsettling, and it was really popular last year, but I read it at the start of this year, is We Used to Live Here. It doesn't stick with me that much. But if you want the vibes of reading The House of Leaves without the work, I think this is good. I mean, I haven't read House of Leaves, so who am I to say what people like from reading House of Leaves? But there was a puzzly quality and enough answers to make me happy, and it's a type of horror where you're just like, stop it, don't do that thing, don't, and they do it, and you're like, oh my gosh. And then you're like, oh, what are the repercussions of this action? It really messes, I think, with fears we all kind of bring to the table in a way that's very visceral. So yeah, I like those 2. The days are getting colder. Name a short, heartwarming read that could warm up somebody's cold and rainy day. This was hard for me because I don't... Have we discussed how much I don't like cozy books on this channel? I feel like we have. But I do have 2 that I think kind of fit the bill, and whether they're considered short or not is neither here nor there. One is Bitter Medicine. I read this as my last book of 2024. Partially because it was cold outside and I just wanted to snuggle up with a book while I was in between semesters. Ryan wasn't home. I just wanted a book to snuggle up with. And I really liked it. It's got the qualities I like from a fantastical world and the qualities I like from a contemporary romance. Like, I don't think it's like a romantasy. The plot doesn't pace like most romantasy plots, and it doesn't have the love interest tropes that we associate with romantasy books. Like, these 2 people are never enemies to lovers. They're never fraught. The hero is not a big alpha persona. They're age appropriate for each other. That whole thing. But I really enjoyed it. I thought it was engaging, but still sweet. So I could see a cozy quality. And then I have Lessons in Chemistry, which, goodness, I feel like I don't talk about this book often. My mom gave it to me because my mom really loves this book. And I read it, and I'm supposed to give it to my grandmother next. And I just really enjoyed it. I was so surprised by it. Like, it was just keeping me company. Again, it was a moment of, I was listening to it while I was preparing my house for a Christmas party with friends, and I was just having a good time, and I was smiling. It was like watching those movies. It reminded me of a movie with Robin Williams in it, and I don't know why, because I don't think there's a movie remotely like this with Robin Williams in it, but where it's like it was easy to root for moments and like be very invested in what was being built by our main character here. So Lessons in Chemistry is about this chemist in the mid 20th century. So there's a lot of misogyny, and she gets pregnant and has to become a single mom. And so she changes careers through an opportunity to run this cooking show for other women. And what I really loved is how she shaped this cooking show. I just enjoyed it. It was really easy to root for. I don't think at any point did I feel like this was grounded in reality. Like, it is, of course, grounded in reality how she would be treated as a woman in this time. But it didn't feel like a historical fiction, if that makes sense. But I had a blast. Like, I would watch this movie. I think there's a show. I don't think I've watched the show, but I think there's a show. And I had a good time. All right, and now our last question that involves books is fall returns every year. Name an old favorite that you'd like to return to soon. Well, very soon, in like 2 months, I'm going to be reading The Amber Spyglass. Ooh, am I ready? Am I ready? I don't know if I'm ready. I'm very excited. But also, I do believe this will happen. But it just, I haven't set myself to do it yet. But I have been itching to read The Mask of Mirrors for a very long time. I swear every month I'm like, man, you could just pick up The Mask of Mirrors. You could just pick it up. You got the audiobook, you got a fancy physical book, you have the floppy physical book, you have the e-arc, you could read it. My tarot cards are going to come in from it soon. Well, the pattern deck, but they're tarot cards. I'm just like, so I do think that reread's probably going to happen maybe in December, where I don't feel as pressured to read new things for channel content or anything like that. Not that I'm ever like super pressured about it, but I do find it's easier for me to just read more like I'm not on the internet in December for whatever reason. So yeah, I think that might happen. And Mask of Mirrors, I talk about another book that's great for when you're cold. I really like it. So yeah, and then the last question is always one that I don't really have a good answer to, is fall's the perfect time for cozy reading. Share your favorite cozy reading accessories. Well, if you have a cat, they're pretty great. I also have like a clicker device for my Kindle, but I don't like have that set up right now. But when it gets cold and I don't want to like have my arms leave the blankets. But for the most part, it doesn't really matter to me. It's just the fact that it gets colder. That's the best accessory. That it's not super warm out. If you're doing this tag, let me know so I can go watch yours. I do like all like the varied types of books I get to see from this type of video. If you just want to leave an emoji to let me know you're here, I don't know, what were some of the books I mentioned? Let's see, leave a ghost for Warm Hands of Ghosts. I think that's cool, and it's different from a leaf. Feel free to answer any of the questions down in the comments if you don't want to make your own video or you're not on social media in that way, but you still would like to like recommend books or just chat about it. You can do that here or in my Discord. And otherwise, like if you liked it, subscribe if you want to, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.